हम सब में एक डिटेक्टिव का कीड़ा होता है और आई थिंक हम सब ये एक्सप्लोर करना पसंद करते हैं. हाय, दिस इज Meena Sheikh here on Zoom channel and join me as I welcome Arindam and Tanya on Zoom.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
So you being the creator of PI Meena, tell me how did this name come into picture first of all?
Well, I mean, the character is called Meenakshi, and Meena is what some friends call her. And so it was quite logical to call the show Meena. We gave it a prefix of PI, which stands for Private Investigator, to ensure that this is not just any other Meena, but the private investigator.
You know, we always say this, Tanya, and it's a saying for years now that women are FBIs. And they can just go and find out anything they want. Have you been so otherwise as well?
No, actually, I'm surprisingly really bad at it. I have friends though who do the job for me. So playing somebody like Meenakshi Iyer was, I think, a learning for me and how to get that FBI ka gene going in me. So now it's on.
Yeah, and did you get inspired by any of the characters which you have seen in the past, like say Vidya Balan for that matter, and we really loved her in Kahani.
Absolutely.
So, if you got inspired by any of these actresses for that matter?
My entire life I've been inspired by actors like Vidya Balan ma'am, Konkana, and all of these. And yeah, when it comes to playing detectives, I don't think I have seen a lot of female characters in that space, surprisingly. So I knew these were big shoes to fill, and yes, there are female detectives there, but you don't ever see them. You don't really hear a lot about them. We always have Byomkesh Bakshi, we have all these other characters, we have Sherlock, and all of these other. Of course, we have our own. Yeah, but female characters like Meenakshi Iyer aren't really talked about. We say that. Like you were saying, that females have that FBI gene going in them, but still, yet surprisingly, we don't really see their stories being portrayed on screen. So for me, that I think was a huge deal in itself. And definitely in Meenakshi's world also, you'll see that she is a female character trying to break it and crack it into a male world. So there is obviously that real life and real life sort of balance that's playing at it.
Talking to you, Arindam, I have to ask you about what idea came into you, while making this one, and why you wanted to focus on something which is more into detective side of it.
I am a PI geek, is what I call myself, because I read and watch detective narratives a lot. I think because I enjoy them. Also because I think that's one genre that teaches you how to write, how to plot, how to move a story. Yeah. So as a writer, I follow it almost as education, and as a reader, I follow it because I love it. So it was logical for me to try and do something like this. However, the story actually germinated long back. It was a 31st December night, long back in Kolkata, when I was standing in a serpentine queue to buy a bottle of Old Monk. And I saw a hit and run. Yeah. And I was wondering, I mean, the boy who got hit obviously got picked up. We helped him put in a cab, take him to the hospital and all that. But I've always wondered that who is this guy? I mean, what happened to him after? What happened to his family? And that stayed with me. And this is what I was kind of thinking, that if I do a PI thing, I will do a hit and run. And then, all kinds of things came to this season's plot, which is about science, about this feeling about science that something is going to go wrong. And if it goes wrong, then it is going to be really, really terrible. And we wrote this before COVID. So we didn't have COVID at the time we were writing.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was all our imagination of mine, my writers, Ronak, that if science goes wrong, then what can happen? And then that gets linked to the hit and run, and that's where PI Meena comes in.
And just before, starting this interview also, I got to know that y'all had this thought of virus much before the virus made an entry to
That's
the
right.
country.
That's what I just said. That,
Yeah.
There was no COVID when this
Exactly,
happened.
yeah.
And I remember sending a text to the platform when the first or second report from China was emanating, saying that, see, this is what we wrote about and this is what is happening. Knowing little that it's going to kind of become an epidemic and such a disaster for humankind.
But also, Arindam, how much do you have this skills of being a PI, or for that matter? Have you ever done some kind of personal investigations in the past, which you may have found out the thing or the truth or the culprit for that matter?
No, I don't. I'm extremely lazy. So even if I have the skills, I will never put it to practice. But when it comes to writing, yeah, it's about imagination. Then that's what takes over. Writing is also a very lazy thing. You're on your own, you're sitting in one corner. Apart from getting bugged in a writing group, which you generally try and avoid.
And as a writer, you have to imagine a lot of things while...
Yeah, that's not
for a
lazy.
lazy fellow, it's a good job.
But I have to ask you, Tanya, how did you prep for this role? Did you take certain, certain break from your work completely to be secluded, to be, in that role completely, or what did you do for it?
Yes, I think, when I read the character, and then we definitely had a lot of meetings, we would do readings and we would sort of create this character. Obviously, there was a foundation that existed on paper, but we were trying to create a 3-dimensional character, right? So that you can't always put everything into script. So we were constantly working on how do we mount Meena, what are the characters that we want, characteristics that we want to include in her. And there was constantly work on work in progress. So there were definitely nuances during readings.
The fact that she continuously fidgets all through the show. Yeah. The fact that she's a little irritating, because she does not conform. And if you don't conform, then the world finds you irritating. So she is a little irritating. She fidgets. Also, the one thing that we did is we did not give her the earpods.
Yeah.
We gave her the wired headphones. So you will see her using the wired headphones, and automatically if you're using the wired headphones, then you're struggling.
Yeah.
So all these things got added. These are physical things that got added, but I think Tanya got the character so well in her head that at times she would do things which is not written or discussed, and that really worked for the scene, for the character, and the way we were imagining the world of Meena.
But I definitely had a lot of help from my creators. Sure. So that was always for me as an actor, that was something, that was a sigh of relief that, even if I go wrong somewhere, even if I'm not able to get the nerve of the character right, I know they'll be there for me to fall back on, and they'll tell me what we can try out and some things. I remember when we were trying to, sort of induce that physicality into Meenakshi. We did Kathak classes as well, and all of those things. Exactly. How to get Meenakshi's walk, how to change her energy, the speed of at which you talk also, everything changed. And that, I think, just became that whirlwind of Meenakshi.
Yeah. I have to also ask you, to both of you, you also have Param Mitra in this one, and he has been a part of, such detective dramas. How was it like working with him on this one?
What
led to casting him also, I would like to know.
Well, I think the character, if you watch the show, you will realize that, we see Param in many shades, in many of his, obviously he's a great actor, so he does play various characters very well. But I know Param, I know he is Shubho. So that's really why we went to him, and he kindly agreed to work with us, and he's done Shubho the way I thought Shubho will be. Yeah.
What about you? How was it working with him on this one?
I mean, when you have so little experience, it's always great to be surrounded by people. You should never be the smartest one in the room. So I was never the smartest one in the room. So it was great for me because I had so much experience around me to, ask people and sort of discuss things with them. Param sir also definitely brought in his own, views on how, you can try doing things with Meenakshi and nuances. And obviously the chemistry that Meenakshi and Shubho share, that relationship, how we can build on that, and how sort of, add dimensions to that character. So I think he definitely brought in a lot of experience with him.
That's nice. And I have to ask both of you, any movie which you both like, which is on the lines of detective drama for that matter?
Oh,
Or
well.
any series you guys have come across?
Yeah, I mean, the one show that is my favorite is also on Prime. It's a show called Bosch, which has now moved to its second life, where Bosch, the
Is.
erstwhile detective, has now become a PI. Okay, because he's retired, he's become a PI, and his daughter's become a cop. So that's the world that I really love, and I've been reading Connolly for many years. So I got introduced to the world much before the series happened. Then the whole world of Mankell and I have grown up as a Bengali boy with PIs. Felida,
Yeah.
Satyajit Ray's
So,
creation,
yeah.
and Bomkesh Sharadindu's creation, which we have seen later on screen as series and
Movies as well.
but those were different kinds of worlds. Now we live in a world which is much more flawed, and our characters are flawed, and they're irritating because the world's irritating, and that's the way it is. So yes, inspired by all this, but because we live in a world which is completely changed, our characters are
And as
the way
we
they are.
talk about the irritation it is causing in this world, it's heavily because of the digital medium and the repercussions of using it. Repercussions, and as if I say that, there are disadvantages as well, and people are misusing, such side of it. Like say social media platform, anyone just comes and like writes something,
That's
and
right.
writes a speech around it, and they're trolling you, and you are just disturbed by the thought of it. You may be putting in so much efforts, but there is this one comment which literally diverts your mind. If you all had to focus on a project like that where we could try and eradicate certain thing out of it, would you both prefer doing so?
Yeah, we would love to do it. However, I think we live in a world where this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And we can all try to eradicate it together. I think there are forces that do it. I know big companies who are continuously fighting this. Big tech companies who are continuously fighting this. I think we need to focus on that, but what we also have to work with is our younger generations and tell them how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And that's probably more in our heads than going out and fighting this world of strange world of the new media.
Tanya, I had to ask you about this specifically. Even actresses right now recently are facing this, which is like pictures are getting morphed via AI tools, and I'm sure you must be having your own kind of this insecurity you build around, because anything you're posting, it could be morphed and anything could be done. What is your thought on that?
I mean, it is happening. It has been happening for a while now. Now it's getting the limelight, but it has been happening since forever. So you need to equip yourself, and obviously technology is at our disposal for everyone to use. It's now up to us on how we want to deal with it and what use we want to make of it. So I mean, there is always. I don't think I want to live in that fear ki kya hoga, ki if these things happen. I just want to be prepared for the worst case scenarios and also still live in my best possible way. So I think that is how I want to deal with the situation.
Detective version had to see this version of it. What would you say on that?
Oh, she would be on it. She would definitely be
She would
on
definitely go and find the culprit.
I think Meenakshi is that person who wants to hold people accountable for the damage that they've done. So she definitely will be on it.
And lastly, to both of you, what are your upcoming projects you both are working on?
Well, right now we are focused on this.
Yeah.
We've been out about 6 days now and trying to see how we can reach as many people as possible with the show. And then we'll all move on to our next.
Likewise, I think all my attention right now is only on PI Meena. And because it's been in the making for so long, so now it feels so great that this part of our world is now finally a part of the world. So I think all my energies are focused on PI Meena right now. But definitely whenever something else comes up, we'll talk about that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for a lovely
you very
time.
much.
And
Thank
very
you.
present.